Morning, everyone. Okay, so today's topic is risk, and what I'm going to tell you about is one of the things that I did this winter, and maybe my path that I chose to go on for about 5 years already. And everything begins with a frame of mind. And every morning I ask myself, am I indispensable? Am I the person that cannot be replaced? Every morning, standing in the mirror, and am I indispensable? Mantas, are you? To be more precise is, can I describe everything I do in such a small detail that another person can repeat the process? Is it possible? My everyday works, my projects, everything that I do, how I do it, why I do that. Is it possible? And are you indispensable? Can you describe what you do in such a small detail? The question comes from one thing. Of course, I'm talking about artificial intelligence. I'm talking about robotics. The stuff that's coming in 5-10 years' time. Most of the jobs that we do have right now will disappear due to the thing that most of the people are indispensable. Sorry, they are dispensable. And that's a sad thing. And if you think that if you are creative, if you are a lawyer or a manager, and you cannot be replaced, you're a writer and you cannot be replaced, sadly, that's already happening. Lots of algorithms are already writing articles for the papers. Most of the legal work in some top law firms are reviewed by robots. We are chatting with robots. We are getting our email cleared by robots. And everything is changing. And it's changing really fast. So every morning when I ask myself, am I indispensable? I have to choose. And it's a risky choice. To listen to yourself and be you. Because the only thing that cannot be described in words is you. Bless you. The only thing that cannot be described in words is you. And if you follow your inner feelings, we all do have some of them, yes? That inner child that says, oh, I should do this and that. That work, I don't like it. I should change my life. That's little voice that is actually indispensable. And it becomes, or it begins with emotion. There is one emotion that is like this, and the other one is, who can define the risk for me right now? Okay, so you all felt that emotion that, oh yes, I kind of know what risk is, but I won't raise my hand and I won't talk. Yes? So, everything comes from emotion. The one that you do have, one is positive that says, let's do this. And the other one says, don't. When you choose to start your life, when you choose to do the stuff that you really like, you begin with preparing. In my case, I had to prepare loads of stuff to pack everything into my backpack. But in life, you actually check your skills, you check your connections, you check everything you have already done, and you start to think, what can I do with that? Where can I go with that? And it's a risky choice, because that's a very long road, and you don't know that road. The thing that you have to do is actually just start. You have to go into the... You could told me earlier that I'm blocking the screen. You can go on that road if you begin. No matter what's the terrain, no matter that you do have a huge backpack that weighs around 30 kilos and you have sledges that you never use actually, and snow boots that you never use. But you pack loads of stuff because you think that, yes, I will need that. I need that. And sometimes that blocks you from going out because you think, to go outside, I need a tent, I need a mat, I need lots of clothes, 2 pairs of shoes. Oh crap, that's so expensive. I won't go. To be a professional, I need connections, I need great portfolio, I need loads of that stuff. No, I won't do that. And you don't start. And that's the saddest part of it. Eventually, when you start going out, you start to meet your fears. Mine, one of the first was wolves. Loads of them, because most of the time you're working next to the footprints of wolves. And you have really, really long time to think about that. Because you have the whole day, and you're just, oh, wolf tracks, wolf tracks, wolf tracks. He went that way, I'm also going that way. He might be coming back this way. He will eat me. Damn, wolves. And we help each other to be afraid. During my journey, let's say for 1 week, nobody calls me, yes? I'm all alone, I'm all happy, I'm all with myself. And suddenly somebody calls from Vilnius and says, hey, how are you? The first question was, how are you? The second question, aren't you afraid that you will be robbed? That's a thought that I will have to think about for a day or two. People project their own fears on you. When you say, now I will live my life. I will do the stuff that I really like. And they will say, oh no, you will ruin your career. You can't do that. Check the market. Everything is falling down. Oh no, don't do that. Get a stable job. The one that everybody can describe into very small details. And replace you, if needed, with at least outsourced Indian or a robot, eventually. If you stand your ground and you say, oh no, I'm not listening to you, I will doing this anyway, your life will change a little bit. All the basics that you do have will change. You will start from scratch. Sometimes water, most of the time actually, will be from snow, not from the tap. And it won't be that easy to get it, because you will have to scrap the icy snow, and then heat everything up, and then you will have some water with some additives in it. In life, it's really the same. You have to scrap everything, and you have to check what you have, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to find snow to get water. Sometimes the winter disappears, and there's no snow. But you have to keep on going. At the moment that you are packing your stuff, you are actually also planning the journey. You think about, I will go from point A to point B to point C. Everything will work out just fine. But eventually, that doesn't happen. For me, the nature is the greatest analogy of life, because you cannot predict it entirely. The map that you do have not always will show the roads that are there. And sometimes it will propose you some challenges. Once there was a time during the nighttime, I had to cross a bridge. I knew that somewhere there's a bridge. And I was walking. I cannot find the bridge. I cannot find the road that leads to the bridge. And eventually I came and the bridge was torn apart. No bridge. But I have to go forward. And as soon as you hit such an obstacle, the first thing is, let's turn out and look for the other way. But I decided to dig deeper. I went down where the river should be. And there was no river. Sometimes when your plan changes, or your road goes not as planned, don't be afraid to dig deeper. There might be a great lesson in there, and there might be a great opportunity in there. And eventually, you will walk. You will walk a long, lonely road. The one that's at first lonely, because nobody understands you, because nobody knows what actually you are doing, and they're still projecting their fears on you. You have to live with that for a while. And you walk, snow, wolves, walk. Easy as that. But eventually you will reach your first milestones. You will reach what you were dreaming of, at least the first signs of that. You will see that, that's actually possible. I can do that. And you will get some self-esteem. You will see that the risk pays off. And you might even think that, is that feeling, the risk, the one that you all had when asking the question, is it actually the bad feeling? Is it wrong to feel that? Earlier, feeling about the risk saved us, because our body tells us, there's danger. Don't go there. And we didn't, because it actually was like that. But times changed. And in my personal opinion, it should be rewired. The risk is the first marker that that's the road that you should take. That's the unknown road, the one that nobody goes to. The one that is filled with lots of wonderful things. The ones that you cannot see in your normal life. The ones that you cannot see in your regular environment. And there you see those all the time. And eventually, it starts to be okay. You see that I can live with that, and I really like that. And all that difficult stuff that you already did helps you move forward. You inspire yourself again and again, day to day, and you continue. I don't know where it began for me. No, it's not that clear. But I think one of the things was starting to wake up at 5 a.m. That's a thing that nobody else in my circles did at first. And they said, you are losing a lot of time in the evenings. You cannot meet friends, you cannot go to the bar, you cannot do this, that. And you think, no, that's not true. That might not be true. You begin with this, you get friends who join you. You start doing other crazy stuff. And eventually you go into your own bubble. And you disappear from your regular world. And then you start doing stuff like that. Eventually you meet some friends. Not those who admire you, maybe, but those who understand you. As I was walking around the border, this is one of the border patrols. And he said, whoa, what's in your backpack? How much does it weigh? And I said, okay, try it. He actually barely put it on. But in his life experience, he was walking with a backpack for quite a while. And he knows how hard it is to walk 50 kilometers with it day to day to day to day. And he says, wow, that's really cool. Not just like, oh, you're cool, but I really get it. That's wonderful. And you will meet such people eventually. If you take the risk to form yourself as a new person, you will get that. And as everything gets harder, there's a map, that kind of red thing, there's a map, there's my hand, and there's the night. You eventually will think that, I should increase the difficulties. Because your skills improve, you adapt, and eventually that becomes normal. I actually walked most of the time during the night, because for me it looked like safer, also counterintuitive, but for me it was. I had the skills, of course, but it's one of the greatest things when you can walk and see, in my case, Lithuania, not in the daylight, but in the moonlight. It's totally new perspective. As you get friends, you eventually will get some support from the partners who are stronger than you, who can take you to the new level, who see, this guy, he does not give up. He takes interesting roads, and he keeps on going. He took the risk of losing everything, but he didn't give up. Let's do something with him. And you eventually will move on. And stuff that looked kind of not bearable for you will look just fine. You will say, wherever, I can do this. And at some points, this is totally illogical. And people who live, most of the masses, in the logical world, they can say, But that's, who the heck goes to the swamps in the middle of winter? Yeah, that's totally logical. As well as that emotion that sparks you and sparks the movement. The second day that I was traveling, I wrote down a question. Who decided to go into this journey? Because I don't know who. I really don't. It was just something I felt that I had to do. And I think that most of you also have that feeling about something in your life. And eventually, I really love swamps. That's why I put lots of swamps pictures. You see the places that nobody else saw. Sometimes you really feel lost, but that's also cool. Because if you are in the place where there are no common roads, you know that you are doing something interesting, that you are walking a new path. And the path eventually appears under the footsteps of the person who's walking. You can be the first. And there's plenty of places to go. It's enough for everybody. Being unique. And the thing that comes in your mind when you come back, for example, when you go into the city, this is Visaginas. It's probably from the Soviet Union leftovers. You come back and you see, oh, I actually know this place, but now it seems totally different. That's because I have changed. And you will look into your past just like a memory, just like a very distant memory, but you will understand that everything is really different right now. All of that because you took the risk to do that. And you will start to feel back again like a child. Not that you will start to think, oh, I'll be then an astronaut or a firefighter. Maybe that's your dream, I don't know. But you will start exploring the world without questioning it, without thinking, will I stand up or I won't? As you were a little child, will I stand up or will I not? You went do them. You didn't do that. You just tried and tried and tried and eventually started walking. Somehow, now we don't do that. And that's strange. But if you will see that what others are telling you is not true about the world that you are living, if you will get rid of those fears that everybody is projecting on you, that might not be true, and most often they are not true, then you will see that you can explore the world like that. And you don't have to question it. And you can do anything you want. And eventually, you will meet the fear that you have always anticipated. You will see this kind of actually looks like a wolf, but that's not a wolf. You will see that all of that was a hoax. The fear that was right in front of your eyes, the one that was repelling you from moving forward, that was all a hoax. I think what I feared the most was myself. And during this journey, the life journey, we actually are more afraid of our own success, the stuff that we are capable of. And when we think about it, it's just, oh no, that's really powerful. I don't know if I will do that. Am I capable of doing that? No, I won't do that. Regular job, regular life, that's okay. But once you meet that wolf, that's actually a like, I think, you see that there's actually nothing to fear in this world. Because that's an illusion. And the risk that we can define as, oh, that's the feeling or the possibility of losing everything, yes, it's also not true. It's just a guidance beacon somewhere far away that's telling you that that's the direction. That's the place you have to go to. Trust yourself and keep on moving. So can I describe what I do in small details? I think not. At least that's what's inside me. I cannot describe that thing that inspires to go to journeys like that, because I don't know who it is. And I don't think that anybody knows that. But I encourage you to think about it, or maybe to listen to it, and just hear what it's saying. Thank you.